Good morning, everybody. Did anybody expect the snow this morning? I didn't. My name is Jeannie Baker, and I'm a member of your Board of Trustees. I'm originally from Atlanta, and I can confidently say that I am the least capable person in this entire congregation for driving in snow, and I'm including the youth. I'd like to first offer gratitude for the privilege of living and gathering on traditional territory inhabited at various times by Native peoples of the Seven Council Fires, Ho-Chunk, Kickapoo, Potawatomi, Menominee, Peoria, and Miami nations. I'm inspired by that list to know more about the Native peoples who are part of our land. We are a welcoming congregation to gay, lesbian, transgendered, bisexual, and queer plus people, and we continue to address ongoing homophobia, violence, and unfair legislation that targets these folks, our friends and fellow members. We are an anti-racist faith community, and we acknowledge that racism throughout our society continues to lead to violence and oppression for Jews, blacks, and indigenous peoples, and other people of colors. We should be inspired, and I'm inspired to engage in this struggle to dismantle white supremacy culture in our hearts, our community, and our world. I also want to add that this community extends beyond these four walls, and I'd like to welcome our online participants. Wherever you are right now, whatever your age, color, whatever your gender identity, whatever your chosen beliefs, whoever you love, you are welcome here. Today is the Imbolc service. I'm not going to describe it because I know our friend and a fellow member, Melissa, is going to give us a more thorough explanation. But I join with you all in thanking the EarthSpirit team for giving us the opportunity to celebrate in this way. Housekeeping. Welcome to newcomers and guests. You all have yellow slips in your order of services. If you want to get in touch with somebody and ask more questions about the church, please do. There's information there. You can also write visitor@uucw.org. You can visit the newcomer table in the community room, or you can just ask anybody in this entire room, including me, what's up, how to get more involved, and we would be very happy to talk to you. We have a worship exploration table if you feel like getting up or folks just don't want to sit still during the service. We also have the community room in back of you. Now let's look at the announcements. We have a really great group of announcements this week, like a really great group. Number one, I want to focus on next Saturday here in this room, February 3rd, starting at 7 o'clock, is a super fun potluck get-together focused on the new mission statement, food, like fun community. There's going to be some entertainment. If you want more information when you exit the service, I'm going to be wearing the official February 3rd hat because it's my weekend to do it. And people can ask me questions, or you can ask any member of the stewardship team or any of the staff members. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'd also like to highlight, Rev Yulin has challenged us to think about what the future looks like if we actually lived out our new mission statement. I guess the theme for my announcements is mission statement. I'm talking about announcement number 11. You're invited to write a letter to the future UUCW expressing what you see, dream, or promise. I'm really excited to read a lot of these letters. Many, many other great announcements. Honestly, they all could be highlighted, but I direct you to your order of service. Thank you, and next up is Melissa talking about today's service.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Melissa Musante. I'm the lead of the EarthSpirit team, and today we're celebrating Imbolc. It's a funny sounding word. Imbolc is also sometimes referred to as Candlemas. That's the Christianized version of it. Another old word for it is Imbolc. All of these words, right? And the modern interpretation of it is Groundhog's Day, right? So what's that all about? Well, it's about this time. So we look out there, we see snow, we see some ugly snow because it's been plowed, and it's kind of a bleak time. But it's also kind of a bleak time in our world, right? And so think back. Actually, you don't have to think back too far. How many people lost power a couple of weeks ago? It was a little scary, right? Right? And if you didn't remember to go shopping beforehand, you weren't shopping then because the roads were impassable and lots of the stores were closed. So now here you are in the dark with no heat, running out of food. This is what it was like for the ancients who developed this holiday, right? Stores were low, nothing was happening, it was cold, all they had was milk. And fortunately, this is the time when mammals are starting to produce milk because they've got babies in their belly. And that's what the word Imbolc means. Imbolc means in the belly of the mother. So today, we celebrate the hope that that new life that we can't see, but we know it's there. We know that that's coming. We know, we have faith. And so today is a celebration of that faith, of that knowing, of knowing that it's going to be better, and that together we're going to get through this bleak time. Because in just a couple of weeks, regardless of what that groundhog says, it's going to be spring, and it's going to be easier. So today we're going to celebrate nurturing each other. We're going to celebrate the hope of that baby in the belly, whether that baby is a baby, or whether that baby is an idea, or whether that baby is a seed, or the sprouts of spring to come. So I ask you to join me in rising in body or in spirit to sing song 91, Mother of All, in your gray hymnal.
If there are any children who would like to come forward and sit on the floor on Dave's blanket here, or young at heart, you're welcome to do that. You have 11 seconds.
9.
8. Repeat after me. Say what I say. hard backbone.
Our backbone,
Hair on its skin.
hair on the skin,
Nurses from its mother.
nurses from its mother,
And it's warm within.
and it's warm within.
A woodchuck is a mammal, but a snake is not.
A woodchuck is an animal, but a snake is not.
We can tell a mammal by the kinds of things it's got.
We can tell a mammal by the kind of things it's got.
Got a hard backbone.
Got a hard backbone,
Hair on its skin.
hair on its skin,
Nurses from its mother.
nurses from its mother,
And it's warm within.
and it's warm within.
Humans are mammals, but turtles are not.
Humans are mammals, but turtles are not.
We can tell a mammal by the kinds of things it's got.
We can tell a mammal by the kind of things it's got.
Got a hard backbone.
Got a hard backbone,
Hair on its skin.
hair on its skin,
Nurses from its mother.
nurses from its mother,
And it's warm within.
and it's warm within.
Give yourself a round of applause for part of the mammal song. Thank you, Jerry Axelrod wrote that song. Everybody point to a mammal. We may be the most well-adapted creature on the planet, but we are mammals. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about biology. Make two B's. Everybody make two B's. Make your hands look like mine. Say biology. Now say science. So we're going to talk about what happens to animals, mammals, especially in the winter. Make two M's. Everybody make two M's. This is mammal in sign language. Everybody feel your hair. You don't have a beard? What are you doing? If I did this, you'd go like bald eagle. So mammals have the hard backbone, and then one of the most special things about mammals is the production of milk for the babies. So we're going to talk a little bit about some animals, and I have to ask you about this. I have some letters here. Anybody know what this letter is? H. What happens with mammals, some mammals in winter, when it starts with H? Hibernate. Everybody say hibernate.
Hibernate.
Now when I say hibernate, you got to go like this. Hibernate. Thank you for not snoring. Because a hibernating animal, well, let's just check it out. Right over here, I have a woodchuck. Everybody say, that's not real.
That's not real.
It's a toy. It's a toy wood. Can you hold the woodchuck, please? Thank you very much. And here's another. This one's going to be a woodchuck here today, too, all right? It's actually a gopher, but let's see. Okay, stop. Okay, hang on to this. And here's a baby one right here. Woodchucks are groundhogs. Woodchucks are groundhogs. And woodchucks, when they hibernate, they take one breath every 6 minutes. Don't try this at home. Now everybody make a bet. Everybody make a bet. This is the sign language for bat, all right? I don't like this. I talked to my friends who teach sign. I said, it should be this because bats have thumbs. They don't have, everybody say whatever. A little brown bat, when it hibernates, takes one breath every 47 minutes. Don't try this at home. Everybody hibernate. Ready? Hibernate. Now there's another letter here. Let's see if anybody knows what this letter is. M. What starts with M that might happen to some animal? What? Yes? Everybody say migrate. Migrate. Everybody go, listen, migraine. That's not it. Everybody say migrate. Now, most mammals do not migrate, all right? And when it comes to migration, they're talking about usually, everybody say birds. And sometimes insects. Put your thumb on your nose, two antennae. Insects like the monarch butterfly, like the dragonflies, like many. And why is migration happening? Everybody point to the sun. Circle the sun, shine on yourself. Shine on everybody in the world. Migration happens because of the sunlight energy and food supply. Now think about this. Birds who fly south, anybody ever go to Florida? Anybody go into Florida in a month? Anybody hope to go to Florida in a month? The birds in the south are wearing feather down jackets. They don't migrate because it's cold. They migrate because of food supply. So when the food supply gets scarce, then animals have to do certain things. Let's see, there's another one here. Let's see, everybody knows what letter is this? A. Everybody say A. A. Yeah, what starts with A that could happen to animals in the winter? Everybody say activate.
Activate.
Everybody try it. Ready? Activate. Close your eyes if you're embarrassed. Everybody say activate. Migrate. Hibernate. Okay, there's two more letters here. What do you got? What do you think this stands for? Wisconsin. That's a good one. Very good guess. Let me give you a hint. Everybody say winter sleep. Wisconsin snoring. Winter sleep. And this is the last one. D. What starts with D that happens to animals in winter sometimes? Deactivate. I love that. Everybody say dead. This means dead. Go ahead, dead like this. This is more fun. Actually, death's not fun. Never mind. So we think about what happens to animals in the winter. There are 5 true hibernators. 5. Everybody say 5. 5. One is the woodchuck. Woodchucks, and also called groundhogs. They're a marmot. They're related to the yellow-bellied marmot. Marmota monax. Those are fun words. Woodchuck is a hibernator. 13-line ground squirrel. The little brown bat and the big brown bat and the jumping mouse. Those are the true hibernators. Everybody make a bear. In a book, make a book. In a book it says bears hibernate. I'll tell you this. Hibernators do not wake up and eat in the middle of hibernation. Bears will do that. So there's a great book here by Edna Miller. It's out of print, but it's one of my favorite books because it talks about what really happens with mammals in the wintertime. All right? Because there are only 5 true hibernators. Now, even Scott Craven, I shouldn't have mentioned his name. Oh, well. Scott Craven will say, I called him one time on NPR, Larry Mueller show, said, what about bears hibernating? And he still wouldn't come to, because when I learned in college, okay, I went to another school. Everybody point to Michigan? You can go that way. It's a lot farther. In Michigan, we learned there was 5 true hibernators. Wisconsin's a little bit different. But let's see, there's some other animals here we might, anybody know who this is? Raccoon, here's an opossum. These are winter sleepers. By the way, yeah, is this a mom or a dad? It's a mom. Wait a minute. Twins! Wait a minute. Triplets! I only have 3, you know why? $8.95 a piece. Okay. So here's another one. Check this out. You can hold these. And my wife said we gotta have this. This is a bear fur. You can touch these if you want. We don't have much time, but kids are welcome when they leave. They're welcome to take some of these. Everybody say, these are real, but they're dead. They're real dead. Like a chicken nugget. Okay. So let's think about this. In hibernation, here's the last picture. I got to show you this. Check out this picture. Check out this picture. I didn't take this picture. But you see this? Can you pick up one of those? Someone take it. There's something strange happening there. Something strange in the neighborhood. What's happening in that? What happens in that eagle nest? Anybody see it? What's in that eagle nest? Black bear. A black bear, and it actually says the black bear was hibernating. I don't think they really hibernate. But I will say this. Hibernation for animals is not the same for each animal. Hibernation for woodchuck is different than a little brown bat, than a bear, than many people that we know in this room. Okay. All right. Everybody say, repeat after me. Repeat after me. Animals do. Animals do. What they need to do. What they need to survive. To survive. Oh, I forgot to mention. My cousin raises sheep and goats, and they have babies that are born now, and these babies are mammals, and we saw a video. I can't show it to you because I didn't plan ahead, but I did plan ahead, but I only got 8 minutes. Okay. These baby sheep, the mother sheep was laying on the floor, kind of probably pretty tired, and the baby sheep jumped on her back to get her to stand up so they could nurse. Species-specific milk. All right. Please join me as we sing our recessional. Dave's going to ask somebody to get the, and we can take some of these with you, but I just got to get them back when we're done. Robin's coming up to get the ladder. Here we go. In the order of service, recessional as the young people leave. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go, as you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her sweet breath, by the fire of her bright spirit, and the water of her living womb, Our circle is cast, and we are between the worlds. And what happens between the worlds changes the world. Spirit of all, you are the flame, illuminating all we do.
Imbolc, a poem by Caroline Meller. I am the dream of awakening.
I am the returning of the light.
I am the tough green shoot pushing up through the paved stones. I am the first kiss of sunlight on the unfurling petals of the snowdrop. I am the wind which whispers the gentle pull of home to the migratory bird.
I am the drop of ice melting on the mountainside with its great dream of the ocean.
I am the sap rising in the blossom tree just before it reveals its sticky buds to the sky. I am the riotous celebration humming away beneath the earth's mantle of frozen sleep.
I am the rousing of the bee from its winter slumber and the soft pad of the mother wolf's paw on the snow as she prepares to birth her pups.
I am hope, potential, rebirth, and promise. I am the kindling breath which transforms the flicker of inspiration in your creative core into a blazing torch.
Give me the silent crescent moon rising over the sea, and I will build you a bridge of silver light so you can walk up and lie in it.
Give me the frost-hardened wilderness, and I will breathe radiant green life over it.
Give me the healer, the writer, the craftsperson, and the storyteller, and I will replenish her essence and make her new again.
I am Brigid, Bast, Inanna, and Hestia. I am the fierce protectress of the sacred fire.
Tonight I bestow my gifts of power and courage at the hearth of your soul. Power to step up out of the shadows of self-doubt and negativity, which have held you in darkness for too long. Power to shed all that which no longer serves you, and courage to clear your heart and mind for the dawn that awaits you.
I am the time to honor your unique gifts for their true worth and to protect and nurture your creative self as you would a child. I am the deep longing of the spirit, which refuses to be consumed by a narrative of fear and chooses instead to place itself vivaciously on the side of love.
I am the stirring in your belly, which knows exactly what you are capable of, and that it's the time the world found out.
I am the fire within which will not be contained any longer.
I am the quickening. I am the serpent uncoiling. I am Imbolc.
I am the dream of awakening.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together hymn number 27, I Am That Great and Fiery Force.
I am that great and fiery force, sparkling in everything always rife. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thundered word, for I am life.
So I'm kind of a winter person, which is not to say that I ski or snowboard or even build a lot of snow people. It's just that there's something about the quality of winter light, the spaciousness of cold winter air, the sparse nature of winter landscapes. It just feels like home to me. When I've lived where the full 4 seasons of the upper Midwest don't exist, well, that just doesn't feel right. Which also means that I'm not one who particularly pines for spring. It comes, and I appreciate it when it does, but I'm also perfectly happy for winter to live out its given time. So when Melissa says that Imbolc's focus on the creation of life's milk is part of the symbolic hope for spring, I had kind of an aha moment. I realized that now, in this moment in history, spring has to mean something more than just one of nature's seasons. You know, right now, when so many things feel hopeless, spring's promise is a kind of code. Speaks to that deep longing for all the love and justice that a metaphorical spring represents. You know, faith, spiritual practice, worldviews, they're all about where we find meaning, both communally and individually. And Unitarian Universalists find inspiration and spiritual succor even in a wide diversity of sources, including earth-centered traditions and paganism. And one of the things I love about our faith is that even if a particular source is not primary for any one of us, we can find shared meaning. Sort of like how last week's speaker, Eric Moraine, compared and found similarities between Unitarian Universalism and Zen Buddhism. And all this to say that while earth-based spirituality is it's not really a primary source for me, I can find surprising and meaningful meaning in what it teaches, just as I can respect and appreciate that this is or really the primary source of meaning for many in our congregation and in our faith. So back to my aha moment, and one way that Imbolc holds meaning for me today in these times. You know, with its focus on the turning of the natural seasons and celebrations such as the one we're participating in today, the coming of spring is something that we can trust. It happens every year, at least so far. And while winter can seem really long and even hopeless, Imbolc reminds us that though spring's emergence may feel slow, it is coming. You know, it offers a kind of solace and assurance. Imbolc nurtures our spirit so that we're able to wait it out. Things seem pretty hopeless right now. You know, maybe we say this too often, but we are in a uniquely dark winter of despair for our world. I mean, yesterday was Holocaust Remembrance Day, when we are called to say, never again. And yet fascism is on the rise. Wars of retaliation are killing tens of thousands of civilians. The planet continues to burn or to drown or to dry up, depending on where you are. And perhaps worst of all, the majority of people seem to be responding to all of this in unhelpful ways, with either apathy or self-righteous anger. it's not so easy to find signs of spring, of new life, or to find hope in the midst of all of this. You know, it can seem that winter and interminable darkness might just be the death of us. So I was listening to journalist Ezra Klein earlier this week. His guest was Simon Rosenberg, and they were discussing the state of the Democratic Party. They were talking about the 2024 election and where they find hope or don't. You know, they agreed in some ways and disagreed in others. Ezra, if I can be so cheeky as to be on a first-name basis with him, is a bit pessimistic. He's skeptical, he's worried. Simon, on the other hand, is very optimistic, even assured, seeing things blossoming all over. Ezra seems overcome by winter, and Simon sees spring on the horizon. Now, as a rule, I can be sort of like Ezra. I'm not that smart or articulate, but I can kind of wallow in the winter of my discontent and feel like there's nothing I can do to affect or change the storm that's happening around me. But what Simon had to say spoke to my winter spirit. He wasn't saying that Democrats have all the right answers or that a Democratic spring is coming. He wasn't saying that all of his chosen candidates are going to win. But what he was seeing is that he's seeing throngs of people counter-mobilizing in the fight for our democracy. He called it a massive movement, mobilizing against the MAGA-ites. And these folks, he says, are fighting not necessarily for any candidate, but rather for an ideal. They're fighting to be sure our democracy, our country, doesn't slip away. I'm using this particular podcast conversation as an example, but also to the point of my message today, spring in the context of human history does not depend. It just does not come around in dependable and regular ways. You know, rather, it depends on us and what we do. And I know that I'm not supposed to talk partisan politics from the pulpit, and you may interpret that I'm doing so. Yet I believe the current situation is too urgent to be silenced by such rules. Our democracy is in danger, and it's going to take us, our individual and collective efforts, to protect it. Now, I happen to think that because of the systems and structures that we have to work with, the Democratic Party is well positioned to protect our democracy. And if that means I'm being partisan, so be it. In these times, we don't have a right to a religion without politics. We don't have a right to a religion without politics, because love without justice is not love, and faith without action is not faith. Now, you don't have to agree with me. Indeed, I don't always agree with what the Democrats are doing. In fact, I wish there were a different candidate. I do. I wish there was one I could get more excited about, one who had a clearer vision for peace and justice and inclusion. Frankly, one with a longer best before date. But in the current circumstances, I don't think we have the privilege of getting what we want or of being ho-hum about this election. We have to get out there and do harm reduction. We have to partner with others doing the good work and collectively leverage our resources and energy. We need to mobilize against rising fascism and white Christian nationalism. And so Imbolc reminds us that we can't stay in winter's hibernation. We can't continue to despair and to turn over in bed, waiting for some preferred options to show up. If spring is to come, the future is looking to us to make it so. Now, there are two powerful voices that I turn to when I need to access hope. One is Joanna Macy and her book, Active Hope. The other is Rebecca Solnit, and particularly her book, Hope in the Dark. Now, Macy uses the beautiful lens of radical interdependence to help us lean into resilience. And Solnit uses a historical lens to remind us that indeed spring will come again if we engage the power of hope. And we only have to look to history to see that spring is possible. And if you don't receive Heather Cox Richardson's Letters from an American, please check her out. She regularly reminds us of how we have been here before. History repeats. Let me share a few of Solnit's insights. Hope, she says, is located in uncertainty. It is in uncertainty that there is the spaciousness to act, to see what we can really, that we really have the ability to influence outcomes. In other words, we shouldn't be so pessimistic as to believe the sky is falling, or so optimistic as to think the sun will always shine, because when we don't know what will happen, that's when our actions matter most. And the outcome of the coming election is nothing if it's not uncertain. There's room to act, and to act now, and to make a difference. Solnit also speaks of how mushrooms appear out of nowhere after a rainfall. You know, they're evidence of this huge, invisible, and largely unknown underground system. Just as right now, signs of the coming spring are happening beyond our view. You know, for mammalian mothers, milk is coming in, and what is yet to be born and grown is already growing, being nourished. And just so, there are vast networks of activists and change makers mobilizing. They may be out of sight, but they're there, and we can join them. You know, an example of this is the Arab Spring of a dozen or so years ago. For many of us, it came out of nowhere. You know, a spark lit by the self-immolation of Mohammed Bouazizi, a spark that set off fires across North Africa. But it didn't start there. It was part of the result of something longer and deeper. Some would say it started because of Martin Luther King Jr.'s work being translated into Arabic. And of course, before that, Martin Luther King Jr. was inspired by Gandhi, who was inspired by Tolstoy and by British suffragists. So like a deep system of mushroom fungi, growing and connecting until something visible explodes into view, hope is found in the dark around the edges. That's how Solnit talks about it. Even when things happen suddenly, she writes, they arise from deep roots or long, dormant seeds. Unseen networks mobilizing. Human springs are not regular or even predictable, and yet they are assured. The grounds for such hope lie in the records and the recollections of the past, memories of victories repeatedly named as if they were beads on a rosary. Remember the victories, and remembering regularly can become a catalyst for recurring hope. The past reminds us that victories are more than possible. Maybe not assured on a timeline, maybe not as regular as spring, but always possible, because they have always been happening. We cannot remain asleep, hibernating. I just learned from David that humans don't hibernate. We shouldn't do that. If the sleeping giant that is the public awakes, Solnit tells us that we can be a superpower more powerful than any violence, more powerful than regimes and armies, dictators, if only for a shining moment, because every shining moment matters. Artist Myra Coleman, in her illustrated blog on democracy and politics, observed that we hope, we despair. We hope, we despair. This is what governs us. We have a bipolar system, unquote. Such are the seasons of the human soul. Winter, spring. Winter, spring. And we can look back on the past few decades and see remarkable changes. Edward Snowden, marriage equality, Black Lives Matter, and of course we can also see the many backlashes against these things. The overturning of Roe v. Wade, anti-trans legislation, book banning. We hope, we despair. We hope. Whoever you are, whatever your vision for the world, however capable you feel yourself to be, your action is what moves the seasons of humanity forward. Spring will come. I know it will. And it depends on each of us. In a few moments, we're going to be partaking in a ritual milk communion to symbolically fill our souls, to bolster our energy, that we may use our hope as a basis for acting and acting boldly. Because now just cannot be a time to despair. So we need to nurture our spirits and get loud, and then take it to the streets and to the halls of government and into our conversations with family and friends and neighbors. Scott Taylor penned these words, saying that our chalice light reminds us that the future is not simply a place we're going, but a place we are creating. That the path of new possibilities will not be found, but made. That the justice we long for does not sit at the end of an inevitable arc. It lies in the bending that is ours to do. Unquote. For indeed, truly, my friends, it is time for the winter of our discontent to come to an end. A new world is waiting to be built, and the coming of spring depends on each of us. May it be so. May it be so. May it be so. Amen.
So now we're going to move into our ritual. Just a reminder that ritual is simply prayer in action. It doesn't matter what religion, who you believe in, what you believe in. Maybe you don't even believe in anything. But these actions that we do help us to solidify in our mind making these changes and bringing these things about in our life. And that's why we do these things. So as I was preparing for today's ritual, I was really struggling, despite my deep feeling that this was the right ritual for this congregation at this time. I just didn't feel like the tradition of a milk communion was a universal enough action. After all, men can't produce milk. Many women who have not had children, and even myself as a mother struggled. See, and not to get too personal here, but we're all kind of family, so what the heck. I couldn't nurse. My milk didn't come in. Now, I was a little older when I got pregnant, but we did all the things, right? Like we got ready to get pregnant, and we made sure everything was okay, and we did the hypnobirthing classes so that I didn't mess anything up right before birth, so that my body was in the best possible shape, and I got all the stones, and I went to lactation classes, and I read all the books, and I listened to all the articles, and I did all the things so that I could nurse my child, because that's what you're supposed to do in this society. And so there I am, sitting with my kid who is literally starving to death, feeling like a failure. Like 9 months of prepping for this moment, and it's not happening. Go to the pediatrician, they said, yeah, she's not putting on weight. You're gonna have to switch to bottle feeding. There's something so toxic about the messaging that we give to women about if you don't breastfeed, you've failed. And this is your first thing as a mom. Then I'm looking down at Petra, and I go, hey, that's a bunch of baloney. I'm her mom. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I can't breastfeed her. That's not the be-all and end-all of motherhood and nurturing. And that is what this is about. It's not about mothering, it's about nurturing. See, we can all nurture each other. Parenthood and nurturing are not incumbent upon the ability to feed your child from your own body. In fact, caring for one another isn't even dependent on familial relationships. What's important is that you share this life-sustaining essence of your soul. Some of the women I know who have never had the opportunity or inclination to have children are some of the most nurturing, most mothering women I know. Same goes for men who obviously can't bear children or produce milk. These spectacular individuals can dip into their magical well and share themselves so deeply as to support those around them. We all have this within us. Maybe not every day, but the beautiful thing about community is that we're willing to share that magical soul juice with each other. So, when your soul well is running low, maybe mine is nice and full and overflowing and I can share it with you. When my soul is low, maybe yours is full. And that's what community is about. Sometimes we're all doing okay and we can feed the community at large, beyond us. And that's what action is about. That's what social action is about, taking that thing that we have within us and pushing it out, because we're all in this together. This time of year, though, and this political climate, it just seems never ending. Day after day of cold, of adversarial relationships, of sniping at each other. Whack, 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 whack. It can be hard to carry on, let alone even think about lifting up somebody else. So today, we are going to symbolically fill our soul wells. The ancients knew that even though they couldn't see it, the animals had started giving birth and nursing this time of year. As a celebration of the life to come, they would do a milk communion. Also, milk may have been one of the few forms of fresh protein available at this time. Of course, today it's as simple as a trip down to the store. But back then, this action was life-sustaining. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to enter meditation and visualization with me. Before that, a little bit of housekeeping, because, these are always a little complicated. So those of you at home, feel free when I say get your milk to take a moment away from your TV or computer and head to your kitchen and grab something to drink, whether that's milk or water or something, anything. You don't need a whole lot. Those of you in the sanctuary with us, there are tables on either side of the sanctuary, and they have little cups of milk. These cups are biodegradable, so I was being very careful of that, because how do you give 100 people little tiny cups of milk and still take care of the earth? We have two types of milk. We have lactose-free milk, so that's going to be like cow's milk, but without the lactose in it. And then we have oat milk for those of you who are vegan or cannot tolerate any kind of cow's milk. The cool thing is that oats are also spiritually significant at this time of year, and during Imbolc, the ancients would have a milk communion with oat cakes, which is kind of cool. So we're going to kind of kill two birds with one stone there. When we are done with this hold onto your little cup. Please be careful not to get drops of milk on the floor, because we'd prefer not to have to clean the carpets after this. And when we do the offering, we will gather your little cups, okay? So just try to hold on to them, okay? So why don't we take a moment, get our milk. If you are unstable or can't get to the table and back or uncomfortable with that, just raise your hand and somebody from the EarthSpirit team will bring you your milk. So go ahead and get your milk, bring it back to your seat, and we'll start the meditation after everyone's settled. Don't drink it yet. Oh, okay. All right, folks at home, come on back to your screen. Settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes or just soften your focus. With awareness of the little cup of milk in your hand, think of the lengthening days, how the sun is growing warmer, how the earth too is warming, softening. Feel this energy flow up through the ground, up into your feet, up your legs, through your body. Now, that energy is moving out through the top of your head. You are a pillar of light and energy. The sky, your body, the earth are one continuous being. As above, so below, ever flowing. An endless stream of energy. Feel the warmth grow, the energy surge, flowing into your little cup. And now we're going to kind of drink together. Life-giving milk contained in this cup nourish my bones and my soul. I share it with the spirits who have been born and with those who have yet to be born. Earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, help watch over me, protect me, and keep me safe. As the wheel turns and the earth begins to stir at the end of her winter's sleep, let the sun return with its warmth to lift my soul and warm my bones. Now, as the animal mothers prepare to give birth, I prepare for the return of the sun as my spirit begins to grow warm once more. Let's end this ritual with an offering to each other. Go ahead and take a moment and offer a word of support to the folks around you. Feel free to stand if you are so moved. Blessed be everyone. Happy Imbolc.
Hello. So you will see, we are going to, I want you to please join me in a call and response, and this is from the UN Environmental Sabbath Program. Your response will be, we join with the earth and with each other. To bring new life to the land, to restore the waters, to refresh the air. We join with the earth and with each other. To renew the forests, to care for the plants, to protect the creatures. We join with the earth and with each other. To celebrate the seas, to rejoice the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars. We join with the earth and with each other. To recreate the human community, to promote justice and peace, and to remember our children. We join with earth and with each other. We join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. We join with the earth and with each other. Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing number 19, The Sun That Shines.
The sun that shines across the sea, the wind that whispers in the tree, the lark that carols in the sky, the fleecy clouds a sailing by. Oh, I'm as rich can be, for all these things belong to me. The raindrops which refresh the earth, the springtime mantle of rebirth, the summer day task well done, the fun of play, the wise who guide me on my way, the balm of sleep when each day ends, the joy of family and friends. Oh, I'm as rich can be, for all these things belong to me.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Randall, and I'm happy to introduce the January Split the Plate Program organization. UUC Church West Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values, pursue the goal of social justice, and serve our community. Our January Split the Plate partner is Stewards of Prophetic Hopeful Intentional Action, or SOFIA. SOFIA is the Waukesha County affiliate of Wisdom, a statewide network comprised of many faith-based organizations that pursue issues of social justice. SOFIA embraces and champions policies that provide for individual dignity and dismantle structural racism. SOFIA calls for clear lines of accountability with people of color and racially oppressed communities that our work may directly impact. By embracing diversity as a gift, SOFIA exemplifies the UU principle that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and inclusivity. With their community calendar, which is posted on their website, SOFIA invites the whole community to participate in everything from blood drives and Native American ceremonies to supporting the NAACP, the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, issues of rental and home ownership in Waukesha County. As this group of UU congregations works together, we amplify our friendship and our purpose. SOFIA is a rich and rewarding partner for the Split the Plate. For more information about SOFIA, go to their website at sophiawaukesha.org. To help support SOFIA at any time, you can go to the UUCW website Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu provided, or text your donation to 73256. Thank you for your generosity to SOFIA, and we will now gratefully receive your offering.
In our earth-centered religions, at the end of the rite, we thank the element who joined us and release in the circle. We then ground the energy that was raised, returning it to the earth to be reused in a never-ending cycle. Please join me in the reading, the releasing words in your order of worship, and then Ruben and the Solstice singers, we will sing, will lead us to do the gathering chant. Please rise in body or in spirit and read with me. By the earth that is her body, by the air that is her sweet breath, by the fire of her bright spirit, and the water of her living womb. Our circle is open and yet unbroken, spirit that flows between all through. Extinguish this flame. We know you live within us always.
May the peace of the goddess be forever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. And now we'll do the grounding chant.
You can repeat after me. I'll do a line and then you can repeat back. We are one with our mother. We are one with the earth. We are one with our mother. We are one with the earth. We are one with each other by our lives, by our birth. We are one with each other by our lives, by our birth. Let's repeat it again. We are one with our mother. We are one with the earth. We are one with our mother. We are one with the earth. We are one with each other by our lives, by our birth. We are one with each other by our lives, by our birth. Let's try it straight through. We are one with our mother. We are one with the earth. We are one with each other by our lives, by our birth. And we stomp our energy out.
Earth Mother, Star Mother, you who are called by 1,000 names, may all remember we are cells in your body and dance together. You are the grain and the loaf that sustains us each day, and as you are patient with our struggles to learn, so shall we be patient with ourselves and each other. We are radiant light and sacred dark, the balance. You are the embrace that heartens and the freedom beyond fear. Within you, we are born, we grow, live, and die. You bring us around the circle to rebirth. Within us, you dance forever.